Hi YouTubers, good morning. This is one of my favorite recipes. It's Fool-Proof Stovetop Chicken and Mushrooms. I like to cook really simple and quick and cheap, and I'm a bachelor. I live by myself. A lot of stuff I eat out of a can over the sink. But sometimes I like to treat myself. And this is one of my go-to recipes for something that really is a good, delicious, quick, easy meal. This is also chicken that has the bone and the skin on. Whenever I go to the store nowadays, all the chicken is boneless, skinless. That's where all the flavor is. I can't believe it. This is one way to take advantage of all the delicious flavor you get from the bone and the skin on the chicken. And also, you can't get any simpler, easier way to cook it. If you don't like mushrooms, you can throw them out when you're done. It also has some little raisins in here, and I know you're probably getting ready to unsubscribe, but I know all you fancy chefs out there are pouring wine and you're cooking and you think you're fancy. Well, where do you think wine comes from? It comes from grapes. Where do you think raisins come from? They come from grapes. You've got concentrated flavors in these raisins. When you put them in this dish and they cook for a couple hours, they're going to plump up and release a lot of delicious little flavor. If you don't like raisins, throw them out when you're done. When you're done with this dish, you're not only going to have some delicious chicken, you're going to have some juice left in the pan that if you take some bread and butter and dunk in there, it's going to make your toes curl. It's that good. I mean, it's just super delicious. So that's enough talking. Let's go ahead and get started with this recipe. And by the way, like I said, it can't get any simpler. The only thing, it takes time, and you got to know what your stove is doing. You don't want to have the temperature on too hot. So, well, we had a temporary malfunction here. I like to use yellow onions. You can use white onions if you like, but also if you have a bigger pan, use more onions. I only use one, but I usually make this in my big skillet, and I didn't have enough room in my little 8-inch Tramontina pan. But if you have more room, put in more onions. I just use one, and I use 4 ounces instead of 8 ounces of mushrooms because it's just me. But if you have more people, another person, you can add 8. This is the chicken I used. No hormones, no steroids, no antibiotics. Product of USA. That's $1.84 a pound. Um, it's not bad. I think it's a good price. And it was the only chicken in the whole store that had bone in it with skin. Everything else was skinless, boneless, which you might have been cooking cardboard. What's wrong with people nowadays? Now, the olives, a lot of you people saying, what are you doing adding olives? Well, I know you're getting ready to add your super extra virgin olive oil. Where do you think olive oil comes from? You can't get many more virgin than being inside the olive. It's still in there. I mean, parsley. I fill this parsley container up and reuse it. A lot of you people are saying, what's wrong with this parsley container? It's kind of old and crappy looking. Well, it's about 4 years old. Whenever this gets empty, I fill it up again. I buy my parsley in big bags. I get about a pound of it on Amazon and put it in the freezer. Just plain old garlic powder, plain old pepper, and the raisins and the onions. Chop them up, put them in the pan. This little guy's got to go. All right. And 4 ounces of mushrooms. That's about all the pan can hold. And some parsley. And if you have fresh parsley, that's even better. But I didn't have any. And a little bit of solid olives. And some garlic powder. And now, what we're going to do is try to make room for that chicken. This is only an 8-inch pan. I had to cut off a piece. And now you're going to put the rest of the pieces on top. Now, you're going to put that lid on. And the important thing about this lid is it's going to hold in all the condensation. If you hear a hissing noise on your stove, that means the liquid is coming out and it's not going back in the pan. It's dripping down on the side of the pan and going on the burner. If your burner is getting hit by a liquid, that means this lid isn't working right and you've got to do something else. Sometimes you can use a plate and invert it, but if you have a bigger pan. Now, I cooked on low heat. It's got to be about 3 or 4 on my dial. The dial goes to 10, and it works good for me. This is going to go about 2 hours. I set the timer to go off every 25 minutes, and I come look at it. Once it got to about 50 minutes, I turned the chicken over on its back. So right now, it had been cooking for 50 minutes. That's 50. And now I turned it over, and now all this juice that came out of the chicken and the olives and the mushrooms and onions, it's all going to start simmering on this other part of the meat that didn't get any flavor on it. It's going to start separating and falling apart, be really moist. And now it's starting to look good. I want to tell you once again, this liquid that's left over, that juice, you don't have to thicken it and make it into a gravy. It's super raw by itself. You get a slice of bread, put some butter, and dunk in that juice when it's hot. It's going to spoil you. You're going to be spoiled. And now this is not fried chicken, so it is kind of yellow looking. You might think, well, that doesn't look too appetizing. Well, let me tell you, it's delicious. If you don't like the raisins all plumped up into little grapes, you don't have to eat them. You can throw them. You can, if you want to, you can throw out all the trimmings if you don't like it, but it's delicious. Or what you could also do, if for some reason you just don't like the side of it, put it into a little bowl with the other liquid and get your immersion blender out and just juice it up into a creamy broth. And that's something you can pour over your potatoes or rice or other things you got going for your dinner that evening. And you won't be adding any cornstarch or flour to make it thicken. You just juice it up with your immersion blender and the liquid that's left over. You make your own little home-style gravy. And that's kind of what we got left. You're not, unless you're really hungry, you're not going to eat all this by yourself. This is good enough for 2 people. And some people say you should saute the onions and the mushrooms first and caramelize them. But after they've been cooking for 2 hours in the pan, they're going to get caramelized on their own. Now, this is the juice that's left over. That's good stuff. It's almost as good as the chicken. Maybe it's just okay. It's better than the chicken. It's delicious. They should put it in the can, I tell you. It's, again, fantastic. So that's what we got going here, guys. It peels off. It's nice and tender. Comes off in pieces. It comes off the bone really easy. There's no dark pieces. Cooked really slow, really delicious, falling off the bone, tender, juicy, got a nice flavor, nice aroma. It's really good, guys. So this can't get much simpler, can't get much easier. I hope this is something you'll look into. You'll give it a shot. You can smell it, can't you? Huh? Can you smell it? Come on, you can smell it. Yeah, it's delicious, let me tell you guys. Really cheap, really low cost. Give it a shot. Guys, I hope you like my low-cost, foolproof recipes. I've been doing videos for about 12 years. Got over close to 800 videos now. Got a playlist somewhere down here on other recipes. Got cool people I feature on my channel. No relation to me. A lot of them cook too. You want to check them out. And you never know what you're going to find on my channel. Put stuff on new every week. And hope you like this video. Give it a shot. And start buying some chicken that has some bone and skin on it so you can have some flavor. All right, guys. Take care. See you out there.